Ladies and gentlemen, life becomes extraordinary not by accident, but by design. A life that works is not something you stumble into. It's something you build brick by brick, choice by choice. And the good news is, you don't need luck. You don't need someone's approval. You just need decisions, discipline, and direction. Tonight, let me give you 7 rules for a life that works. Rules that can turn confusion into clarity, frustration into purpose, and ordinary days into meaningful ones. If there is one decision that transforms the direction of your entire life, it's the decision to take full responsibility for everything you want, everything you dream of, and everything you hope to build. Responsibility is not a burden. It is the greatest privilege of a free human being. It is the moment you move from being a spectator of life to being the architect of it. Most people never take this step. They wait. They blame. They point. They say, if only circumstances were different, if only I had support, if only life was fair. But listen closely, as long as you blame something outside of yourself, you hand away the key to your own progress. Responsibility doesn't mean everything is your fault. It means everything is within your influence. And that shift in mindset is where personal power begins. Responsibility is the moment you stop asking life to change and instead decide to change yourself. It is the realization that you cannot control the economy or the weather or other people's decisions. But you can control your choices, your habits, your reactions, and your standards. And when you change those, you change your entire life. See, nobody becomes powerful by accident. You don't rise in life because someone lifts you. You rise because you lift yourself. And lifting yourself begins with accepting that you are the captain of your ship. Others may set storms in motion, but you hold the wheel. Others may influence your path, but you decide your destination. We all start at different places. Some people begin with advantages, others with setbacks. But the moment you say, I will take charge of my future, your starting point stops mattering. Because responsibility gives you the ability to steer your life in a new direction, no matter where you began. Taking responsibility is not always comfortable. In fact, it's often painful. It forces you to look in the mirror and say, if something isn't working, I will fix it. If I made a mistake, I will learn from it. If I failed, I will rise again. Responsibility demands honesty, the kind of honesty most people avoid. But what a gift it is, because the truth might sting, but it also sets you free. When you accept responsibility, 3 powerful changes occur. Excuses feel comforting, but they cost you your potential. They help you explain why you're stuck, but they never help you move forward. Responsibility forces you to replace excuses with solutions. Instead of saying, I can't, you start asking, how can I? That shift alone can change your life forever. Every time you take responsibility for a choice, an action, or a mistake, you strengthen your belief in yourself. You begin to trust your ability to figure things out. And confidence is not built by perfection. It's built by accountability. Life responds to responsibility. When you take ownership, you naturally become more intentional. You think more carefully. You act with more purpose. You stop waiting and you start creating. And suddenly, life begins to cooperate with you because you're finally cooperating with yourself. Think about the alternative. If you don't take responsibility, you remain in a permanent state of waiting. Waiting for luck, waiting for opportunity, waiting for someone to save you. But waiting is not a life strategy. Waiting is a surrender of destiny. Responsibility, on the other hand, is empowerment. It turns wishful thinking into deliberate action. It turns dreams into plans. It turns hopes into habits. And it transforms your life from something that happens to you into something you direct with intention. Responsibility is the birth of growth. It is the foundation of courage. It is the seed of transformation. And once you plant it, everything else is possible. So decide, right now, to take full responsibility for your choices, your progress, your mindset, and your future. Don't wait for someone else to open the door. Don't wait for perfect timing. Don't wait for permission. Take your life into your own hands, because the moment you take full responsibility, you unlock the power to build a life that truly works. If you want a life that works, you must master the quiet, ordinary, seemingly insignificant hours of your day. Most people want massive change, but they ignore the small habits. They want extraordinary results, but they underestimate the power of an ordinary routine done consistently. But life doesn't respond to wishes. It responds to patterns. Your days, not your dreams, shape your future. Think of your routine as the blueprint of your destiny. Every morning, you're handed the same raw material 24 hours. No matter your background, no matter your challenges, no matter your ambitions, the daily clock starts fresh. What separates those who rise from those who struggle is not talent, luck, or intelligence. It's what they do with those 24 hours. The truth is simple: your future hides inside your daily habits, not in your goals, not in your hopes, but in the tiny, repeated actions that build or break your foundation. Most people don't fail because of one big mistake. They fail because of thousands of small choices that go unnoticed. The skipped workouts, the endless scrolling, the late mornings, the postponed reading, the delayed dreams. A life that falls apart doesn't fall apart all at once. It unravels quietly, one weak habit at a time. And a life that works, it is built the exact same way. Quietly, consistently, patiently. Why your routine matters so much: your routine shapes your discipline. Your discipline shapes your character. Your character shapes your decisions. Your decisions shape your future. That's the chain reaction. And it all begins with your daily patterns. People often say, "I'll change my life when I feel motivated." But motivation is unreliable. Some days it's there, most days it isn't. But routine doesn't ask you how you feel. Routine doesn't negotiate. Routine is the steady engine that keeps you moving even when motivation disappears. If motivation is emotion, routine is structure, and structure always wins. The morning, your starting line, how you begin your day, sets the tone for everything that follows. A rushed morning leads to a scattered day. An intentional morning creates clarity, calmness, and momentum. Your morning doesn't need to be complicated. It only needs to be consistent. Read something that strengthens your mind. Move your body to awaken your energy. Reflect, breathe, or plan to anchor your direction. Feed your mind something better than chaos. A good morning routine is not about perfection. It's about putting yourself in command of the day before the world pulls you in every direction. The afternoon, your productivity zone. Here's a secret: the middle of the day is where most dreams die. People lose focus, get overwhelmed, and let distractions steal their hours. That's why routines matter. They keep you aligned when your mind starts to wander. Have structured hours of deep work. Limit unnecessary noise. Know when you're most productive, and guard that time like treasure. A productive life isn't about being busy. It's about being intentional. The evening, your reset button. Your evening routine determines whether tomorrow is a repeat of today or an improvement on it. It's your chance to reset, reflect, and renew. Close the day with a simple question: did today move me forward? Plan the next day. Prepare what you need. Calm your mind. Release what you can't control. Evening routines aren't about winding down. They're about closing cycles so you can rise stronger. Small changes, big impact. Never underestimate the power of small steps. A 10-minute habit repeated daily beats a 2-hour burst done once a month. You don't need dramatic routines. You need consistent ones. Read 10 pages. Exercise for 15 minutes. Journal for 5 minutes. Plan for 3 minutes. Learn something new every day, even if it's small. These small victories accumulate, they compound, and eventually they transform your reality. Discipline over drama. People love dramatic changes. Big goals, big declarations, big plans. But life responds to discipline, not drama. Routines are discipline made visible. Every time you follow your routine, you reinforce a message to yourself: I can trust myself. I follow through. I build momentum. And when you trust yourself, you become unstoppable. Your life may be powered by your choices, but it is shaped, quietly and powerfully, by the people you spend the most time with. Influence is invisible, yet it molds everything: your thoughts, your standards, your habits, your confidence, your expectations, and ultimately, your results. That's why guarding your circle isn't just good advice, it's a survival strategy for anyone who wants a meaningful, productive, and fulfilling life. You've heard the idea: you become like the people you associate with. But it's deeper than that. You don't just become like them, you begin to think like them, speak like them, value what they value, and tolerate what they tolerate. Human beings are contagious, and the question is, what are you catching from the people around you? A life that works is surrounded by people who work on themselves. A life that grows is surrounded by people who grow. A life that stagnates is surrounded by people who accept stagnation as normal. Your circle is either pulling you forward or pulling you backward. There is no neutral ground. The power of association: you might not realize it, but people influence you in 3 major ways. 1, they influence your mindset. Spend time with negative thinkers, and negativity becomes your default language. Spend time with people who complain, and soon you'll start to see problems instead of possibilities. But spend time with people who dream, build, and take bold steps, and suddenly courage feels natural. 2, they influence your habits. If your friends are disciplined, you'll feel challenged to step up. If they're careless, you'll be tempted to lower your standards. Habits are contagious, good or bad. Choose carefully what you want to catch. 3, they influence your expectations. People either raise your standards or lower them. If you're surrounded by people who settle, you'll begin to settle. But if you're surrounded by people who pursue excellence, you'll begin to expect more from yourself. Your circle doesn't just reflect your life, it directs it. The silent danger of a weak circle: not all negative influence is loud. Some of it is soft, subtle, even friendly. Sometimes the people who limit you don't even mean to. They might care about you. They might love you. But care and love can still be accompanied by fear, hesitation, or lack of ambition. Here is the danger. You begin to match the energy of your circle, not because you choose to, but because human beings naturally align with the environment they're in. If your circle laughs at your goals, you'll shrink your ambition. If your circle avoids responsibility, you'll lower your discipline. If your circle lives on excuses, you'll live on excuses. People either support your growth or sabotage it, consciously or unconsciously. And here's the harsh truth. Some people in your life don't want you to grow because your growth exposes their stagnation. Not out of malice, but out of discomfort. When you rise, you shine a light on what they refuse to improve. You don't need anger toward them. You need distance. The power of an empowering circle. Now let's flip the script. What happens when you surround yourself with hungry, disciplined, uplifting, forward-moving people? Your thinking expands, your goals stretch, your courage strengthens, your habits sharpen. Being around people who take life seriously makes you take life seriously. Being around people who push themselves makes you push yourself. Being around people who expect more makes you expect more. The right circle does three things for you. 1, they challenge you, not by putting you down, but by lifting the level of conversation. They talk goals, ideas, strategy, growth, not gossip, drama, and problems. 2, they inspire you. Their existence becomes proof that more is possible. Their wins motivate you instead of intimidate you. 3, they support you. They don't get jealous when you grow. They celebrate. They don't pull you down. They push you forward. In the right circle, success is normal. Discipline is normal. Excellence is normal. And because it's normal, it becomes normal for you too. Choosing and changing your circle. You don't have to cut people off harshly, but you must manage proximity wisely. Not everyone deserves front row access to your life. Some people belong in your past, not your future. Some people deserve your kindness, not your energy. Some people can stay in your life, but not in your inner circle. Upgrade your circle by upgrading your standards, and the right people will naturally align with you. In a world overflowing with options, distractions, noise, and endless demands on your attention, the ability to set clear priorities has become one of the most powerful life skills you can develop. Most people don't fail because they lack talent, intelligence, or opportunity. They fail because they never decide what matters most. They scatter their energy across 100 small things instead of concentrating it on the few things that truly move their life forward. A life that works is built on clarity. A life that struggles is built on confusion. When you know your priorities, decisions become easier. You stop guessing. You stop being pulled in every direction. You stop watering every plant in the garden and begin watering the ones you actually want to grow. The person with priorities leads the day. The person without priorities is led by the day. Why priorities matter. Life is not a game of doing everything. Life is a game of doing the right things. When you fail to prioritize, life becomes accidental. You wake up busy but not productive. You spend energy but don't move forward. You work hard but not on the things that actually matter. You confuse motion with progress and momentum with direction. But when you set clear priorities, 3 major changes happen. 1, you eliminate unnecessary noise. You recognize what doesn't deserve your time. Saying yes becomes a strategic decision, not a default response. You realize that most things are not urgent and even fewer things are important. 2, you regain your energy. Your energy is finite. Every distraction, every pointless argument, every unimportant task drains you. Priorities protect your energy like a shield. They help you direct your strength toward things that pay you back. 3, you accelerate your progress. Success is not about doing more, it's about doing what matters. When you consistently focus on the essential, your results multiply. 1 hour of focused effort can outperform 10 hours of scattered activity. The trap of the modern world today: distractions are everywhere. Your phone, social media, notifications, impulses, other people's emergencies. Every minute, something or someone tries to steal your attention. And here's the truth: if you don't prioritize your life, someone else will. Someone will take your time. Someone will drain your energy. Someone will use your focus for their gain, not intentionally, but naturally. People always pull from those who don't set boundaries. That's why priorities are not just about productivity. They are about protection. You're not just managing your time, you're defending your purpose. Clarity, the starting point of priority. Before you can set priorities, You must ask the one question most people never ask. What truly matters to me? Not what impresses others, not what the world expects, not what brings quick pleasure, but what actually moves your life toward meaning, growth, stability, and fulfillment. When you define what matters most, everything else becomes easier to manage. The power of saying no. Most people are exhausted not because of what they're doing, but because of what they're not willing to stop doing. They fear saying no because they don't want to disappoint people. But here's the truth: every yes you give to the wrong thing is a no to the right thing. Every unnecessary commitment steals time from your goals. Every unimportant meeting steals focus from your growth. Every distraction steals opportunity from your future. Learning to say no is not selfish. It is responsible. It is the decision to protect your future from destruction by distraction. The priority pyramid in life. Not all tasks are equal. Not all goals are equal. Not all relationships are equal. You must build a priority pyramid. At the top, the vital few. Your health, purpose, growth, key relationships, high-value work. In the middle, the supportive tasks. Useful, but not essential. At the bottom, the distractions. Anything that steals time without adding value. Most people live upside down. They spend most of their time at the bottom. A life that works flips the pyramid. A life that works spends the most time at the top. Daily priorities put you in control every morning. Ask yourself, what 3 things must get done today to make this day meaningful? What can I eliminate that doesn't serve my future? What small action can I take that pushes me closer to my goals? These simple questions create clarity, and clarity creates power. Final thought: when you set clear priorities, your time becomes intentional. Your actions become meaningful. Your results become predictable. A life without priorities is a life of chaos. A life with priorities is a life of direction. Decide what matters. Eliminate what doesn't. Protect your focus like your future depends on it, because it does.